Hello, beautiful beings, kings, and queens. Welcome to the Golden Petals Podcast. Bienvenido, mi gente. Gracias por escuchar al podcast Pétalos de Oro. My name is Marie, also known as Mari, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Golden Petals is a safe space where a variety of different topics can be discussed, but mainly focusing on healing, elevation, and unlocking your next level. I'm super excited to be here with you. You can access Golden Petals on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon. The username is the same across all of them. It's Golden Petals 1111, Golden Petals 111, and that's also the same username for Cash App. Golden Petals 111, thank you for the love donations. I'm super excited to be here with y'all today. I know it has been a long time since I last did an episode of Golden Petals. From then to now, I feel like I have lived many different lives, and in full transparency, there have been some beautiful highs and some ugly lows. I'm human, and I'm so excited to be sharing what I've learned along the way, along the journey with you. And I have a very special announcement that I cannot wait to tell you about. But before I get into that, it is on my heart to talk about overcoming obstacles. Overcoming obstacles. It's something that at some point in time, each and every one of us has to do. Life can be filled with many unexpected changes, challenges, and things that are often beyond our control. And it's not easy to navigate through those changes. So it really was on my heart to get into that because I know that there is someone out there who is in the midst of dealing with that. And when it comes to overcoming obstacles, it is so important to find ways to maneuver through that. Starting with, first and foremost, acknowledging how you feel and acknowledging the validity of what it is that you're experiencing. In order to overcome things, it's important to acknowledge what it is that we're facing and overcoming and working through. Ignoring things does not make them go away. So in anchoring in ourselves, in anchoring in God, it helps to tune out the noise and to tune into yourself. In the depths, you learn what you're made of. When you go through hard times in life, you learn things about yourself that you wouldn't have learned otherwise. You learn strengths that you didn't know that you had. You learn flaws and trigger points that are important to work through. And it's uncomfortable and it's real and it happens. And God will reveal things to you about yourself and others when you are in the midst of a season where you are facing challenges. And some of the 4 things that I've learned that are important when it comes to navigating through chapters and seasons like this, it's the 4 P's: perspective, position, peace, and power. Perspective is important to bear in mind because your mentality impacts your reality. Your mentality impacts your reality. the way that we perceive things can make or break the way that we navigate through certain chapters and seasons of our life. And I know for me, in full transparency, sometimes when I'm going through something or something comes up, I can automatically go to the worst case scenario first. And I have had to unlearn and relearn to shift that. And I recognized that oftentimes when I went to the worst case scenario first, that was a defense mechanism for me. Because in prior situations where I felt out of control, how I learned to adapt was if I could anticipate the worst thing possible happening first, I could better prepare for it. But that really didn't work to my benefit, because what it was doing was it was keeping my energy in a stagnant level that it didn't need to be in. Because although things often happen that are beyond our control, our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So if we're anticipating the worst of the worst of the worst, that can kind of gravitate into what we experience. So I had to learn to shift, and instead of anticipating the worst, having to ask myself instead, what is the best possible outcome that can happen? And before I knew it, the best possible outcome and better is what I started to experience. It's what I started to see. It's what started to happen. And it was because there was an internal conscious decision to choose. Although I can't control what happens to me, I can absolutely control how I respond to it. So you can't control the cards that you're dealt, but you can control the way that you respond to it. And oftentimes when challenges come our way, reframing how we see them and recognizing them instead as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to evolve. And an important reminder that there is so much more to your story. There is so much more to your story. There was a sermon where my pastor said, don't put a period where God put a comma. And understandably so, when we are in the midst of really difficult things and challenges and just hard situations and circumstances and overwhelming emotions and situations, it is so understandable to feel like, okay, this is it, and to feel stuck in a way. So part of reminding ourselves that there is so much more for us than what we've experienced is some of those really important reminders in navigating through and pushing through. And part of pushing through is also recognizing our position. Sometimes when things are falling apart, they're actually falling together. And God is positioning you. And there is power in the pivot. Sometimes we gotta move. And we may not understand what's happening or why it's happening or why we're being called to go in a certain direction. But there is power in the pivot. And sometimes things don't go the way that we planned or the way that we want. And once we've given ourselves that space to acknowledge the very real and valid emotions that come with that, and anchoring in ourselves, anchoring in our truth, anchoring in God and trusting God, even when we don't see or understand what's going on, recognizing that there is power in the pivot, and God may be setting us up for something that we can't recognize right now in this moment. Because let's be real, it's hard to see things. Like when you're in it, it's like the forest from the trees. Like you can't recognize the difference all the time. And that's just the reality of it. But there is still power in what is happening in that space. And so it's important that we have a heart posture, that we have the posture in our mind, in our heart, in our spirit to surrender to what God is doing in our life, even if we don't understand or recognize what it is right away. And in full transparency, just sharing something with y'all. I remember there was a season in my life where I was sharing with my therapist just so many overwhelming things that were going on. And, I was like, this is going wrong. This is going wrong. This isn't what I had planned. And this doesn't feel good. And I was over it. And I'm venting to her, and she said, but what if God is positioning you? Have you ever considered that God is positioning you? And I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. And so shifting that perspective to recognize God is positioning us. God is aligning us for certain things in our life. And you're not being buried. You're being planted. I know that that's for someone. You're not being buried. You're being planted. Go ahead and put some yellow hearts in the chat. Yellow hearts in the chat. Comment if this resonates with you. You're not being buried. You're being planted. It may not feel the best, but there is so much more for your story. And God is using this season to orchestrate things for your best and highest good. And that brings me to my next point. Peace. Whew. Protect your peace. PYP. Protect your peace. Like your life depends on it, because it does. Because it does. The quality of your life and your experiences can absolutely be affected when you don't guard your gates, protect your heart, and protect your peace, because that is what it is that helps give you the clarity, the focus, and so many things that are needed to have that power and stamina to overcome what it is that you're facing, what it is that you're dealing with. And it's so important to, even in the midst of everything, find moments to take care of yourself. Self-care is so crucial, because when you take care of you, you are preserving the stamina that is needed to push forward. And that brings me to my next point, my last point. Power. Power. The world didn't give it to you, and the world can't take it away. God designed you with a power that is only yours. Underneath your trauma, underneath your pain, underneath your experiences, underneath your anxiety, underneath your depression, underneath your doubt, underneath your fear, underneath your insecurities, underneath everything, there is a reservoir of power that you have within you, and you have access to it at all times. It is yours. It is yours and only yours, and the world cannot take it away. And the enemy will throw distractions your way and have things sent to you to derail you or disconnect you or have you doubting what it is that is truly yours and belongs to you. And you have every right at any given moment to snatch it back and reclaim your power. Reclaiming your power is key to unlocking the next level of your life. Because when you get clear and you have your peace and you know who you are, who you really, really are, and who God has called you and created you to be, there is nothing that anyone can say or do to sway you from what was put in you and what you were brought here to do. And you are the best person to know what that is for you. So even if you don't have the answers right away, just know that you are equipped to overcome this moment, what you're battling, what you're facing. This is not the end of your story. And this is an opportunity for you to ask yourself, what can I create? What can I do with what has been given to me? And that is the power of alchemy and transmuting, because you could take something that was meant to destroy you and use it as a tool to become the most powerful version of yourself. You can take your pain and turn it into power. You can take your shame and turn it into wisdom. You can take your confusion and turn it into clarity. You don't have to stay where you are. And you are free to be the best version of you. So I'm really grateful that we were able to talk about that. And speaking of create, I want to get into my special announcement that I told y'all about. Golden Petals, the book, is now available for sale. So excited. So Golden Petals, the book, I wrote this. This is from my heart to yours. This has been years in the making, and I'm so excited that it is now available for you. Golden Petals, the book, gets into, I talk about energy, I talk about spirituality, I talk about the healing journey, self-discovery, self-mastery, peace, forgiveness, so many different things. And I have some positive affirmations in here along with some poetry that I wrote as well. So it's a little bit of everything in there. And that's not all. Golden Petals, the journal, is also available to go with Golden Petals, the book. It is available on Amazon. I'll definitely be sure to include a link on all the websites that I had listed at the beginning. You know, I'll be sure to include a Linktree. That way you can have access to it. Golden Petals, the journal. You can write whatever it is that comes to your heart and mind, you know, when you're in there. If you want to put plans, if you want to put goals, if you're inspired and you want to put affirmations of your own, you can put that in here. There are no limits. And there are also journal prompts. So there are some journal prompts while you're reflecting and experiencing your journey as you're reading the book. You know, there are journal prompts in here for you to answer. So these are available on Amazon. I am so excited to share this with you and to go on this journey with you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe Also, send this to anyone who you feel like would love to give it a listen. And as always, I'm super grateful and excited to be here with you. And I can't wait to go on this journey. Thank you so much for tuning into Golden Petals. Have an amazing, beautiful day. And if no one has told you yet, you matter.